You ever wonder how some online stores just seem to appear out of nowhere and totally crush it? Well, I'll let you in on a little secret. It's not luck. It's about having the right blueprint. Today, we are going to break down that exact blueprint and see how it works for 5 super different and honestly pretty clever e-commerce ideas.
All right, so here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to unpack this universal blueprint that pretty much all successful stores follow. Then, we'll walk through the 4 essential phases: proving your idea actually has legs, building the business from the ground up, launching it into the world, and then, of course, growing it. Stick around because by the end, you'll have the whole playbook.
So here's the big idea, and it's really the most important thing to get. It doesn't matter if you're selling artisanal hot sauce in a box or refurbished video game consoles. Every single successful online business follows the same core steps to get off the ground. We all get those what-if ideas, right? You know, you're in the shower and think, what if I made t-shirts with inside jokes for nurses? Or what if I sold cool retro gaming gear? Well, the gap between that spark of an idea and an actual functioning business is a process. It's a repeatable framework, and that's exactly what we're going to get into. And here it is, in all its glory, the 4-phase blueprint. Every online store, from a tiny one-person shop to a massive brand, goes through these exact stages. First, you validate. You prove people will actually give you money for your thing. Then you lay the foundation, the legal and financial stuff. After that, you get to the fun part, the building phase. And finally, you launch and grow. Let's see how this thing works in the real world. Okay, phase 1. Now, listen up, because this might be the most important part of this whole thing. This is where most great ideas go to die, quietly. Before you spend a single dollar on inventory or a fancy website, you have to answer one simple question. Will somebody, anybody, actually pay for this? Validation is how you test the waters without betting the farm. And the tool you use for this test is called the Minimum Viable Product, or MVP. Now, this is not your final, perfect, beautiful product, no way. This is the absolute bare-bones, simplest version you can create just to get a real yes or no from the market. The whole point is to find out if people want it before you go all in. And this is where it all clicks into place. Just look at how different the MVP is for each business model, but the goal is always the same: get a real answer cheap. For the hot sauce subscription, you don't buy a single bottle. You just pre-sell 50 boxes using a simple web page. For dropshipping, you're just spending $100 on ads pointing to a tiny 5-product site. Selling old game consoles, you just buy 5 broken ones on eBay, fix them up, and see if they sell. For the local marketplace, you start with just 10 artisans on Etsy. And for those nurse t-shirts, you just post digital mock-ups in a Facebook group. See? Every single one is a low-cost, low-risk experiment. Okay, so your MVP got a big yes from the market. People want what you've got. Now it's time to get serious and build the real thing. This part is really a 2-step dance. First, the universal stuff every business has to do, and second, the specific build-out for your unique model. So before we can get to the really fun stuff like sourcing products or designing a cool brand, every single one of these businesses has to do the same boring but essential paperwork. It's not glamorous, I know, but you absolutely cannot skip it. Think of this as the skeleton for your business. You got to pick a legal structure, like an LLC. You absolutely need a separate business bank account. Please do not mix your personal and business money. Then you figure out what permits you need. For that hot sauce box, you'll probably need a food reseller permit. And a simple business plan just helps you make sure the numbers actually make sense. All right, with the boring stuff out of the way, we get to move into the hands-on building phase. And this is where the paths for our 5 different business models really start to go in their own directions. This is where the idea starts to feel real. And this slide just shows that difference so clearly. On one side, you have the physical, hands-on tasks. The subscription box owner is using that pre-sale cash to actually buy hot sauce and order boxes. The electronics guru is setting up a real workshop with a soldering iron. But on the other side, it's all digital. The dropshipper is focused on building a gorgeous Shopify store. The t-shirt brand is just integrating their shop with an app like Printful. It's all building, but it looks completely different depending on the model. You did it. You proved the idea, you built the operation. Now it's time for the big show: launch and grow. And the secret to growth isn't just shouting about your store everywhere online. It's about being smart and going to the very specific places where your perfect customers are already hanging out. So where do those first customers even come from? Well, this chart gives you a pretty good idea of the mix. You've got stuff like targeted social media ads, working with influencers. They're big pieces of the pie. But the trick isn't to do everything. The trick is to figure out which one or two of these slices are going to be the most powerful for your specific niche.
And this is where the strategy gets really, really smart. For the hot sauce box, it's all about that unboxing experience, so you send free boxes to food YouTubers. The electronics seller, they build trust by making TikToks showing their actual repair process. And the nurse apparel brand, this is genius. They don't just target people who like t-shirts. They run super targeted Facebook ads to people whose job title is literally registered nurse. Now that is niche marketing.
Here's a little piece of gold from the dropshipping plan. Because you don't control the shipping, and sometimes it can be slow, your secret weapon becomes absolutely obsessive customer service. It's a fantastic reminder that success isn't just about what you sell, it's about how you solve the built-in problems of your business model.
So we've gone on a whole journey here, from a simple idea through validation, building, and launching. We've seen how this one core blueprint can be the foundation for 5 completely different businesses. And now the question turns to you.
It always comes back to this. 4 phases. Validate the idea first. Build the foundation. Execute the actual build. And then launch and grow by finding your people. That's the whole playbook.
And that's really the main thing I want you to take away from this. The framework itself doesn't change. It's a proven system that works. The creativity, the magic, that comes from the niche you choose and how you apply these steps. Whether you're curating, fixing, designing, or dropshipping, the path is the same. So that's the final thought. When you see all these models laid out, from a hot sauce box to t-shirts for nurses, you can start to see how your own passion, your own unique skill, could be plugged right into this framework to create something real. So the only question left is, which blueprint will you build?